Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K collector coming at you with early morning video here because I know it's prime game hunting season, and this is when a lot of people look to expand their collection. And expanding usually means getting into whole new systems, right? Whole new libraries. And I want to say maybe 2 to 3 years ago, the PS Vita was hot. I mean, very, very hot. And there was a lot of attention around it, which also meant that the prices were super inflated. There were a lot of people looking to buy consoles, add different color consoles to their collections, and we were still seeing where some of these limited, like these game companies like Limited Run, were still putting out games for the Vita. But I think what happened was that a lot of those same games wound up getting ported to the Switch. And because more people had the Nintendo Switch, I think it kind of sucks some of the steam, some of that energy out of the attention that the PS Vita was getting. Nevertheless, the Vita is still an amazing handheld system. In some ways, I feel like it beats the Switch in a lot of ways, actually. And there are definitely a lot of advantages to having a PS Vita, including having access to the PlayStation Network, where you can download a lot of those very expensive PS1 titles and just download them to your Vita, and you can actually play them there. I know I've personally done this. I've downloaded Klonoa, Adventures of Tron Bonne, and Gaia Seed. I've also downloaded that game and a few others to my Vita. But a lot of people still wonder, is the hardware worth it? Now, a few years ago, to get a complete in-box Vita, you'd have been spending somewhere between $250 to $300. That's how highly sought after these were, especially the OLED model. I really like this model. It has a little more weight, a little more girth to it. It just feels better in the hand, and the screen is bright and vibrant. I actually, in some ways, actually like this screen better than the original, the screen that we got on the original Switch, handheld Switch. The Switch OLED has a nice screen. It is a better screen, but I've always been a fan of the screen and the sound on the Vita. Now, since I want to say the start of 2024, and probably before that, there's been a sharp decrease in the price of the Vita. I've seen Vitas, just by themselves, like the console and the charger, go for under $150. I've seen these go for $120. And then even like the complete in box, like I've seen complete in box PlayStation Vitas sell for around $150. So you can definitely get one of these for a lot cheaper than you were able to before. And I think that the library on this console is still very expansive. And there's a lot of games for it, and you can still do a lot with it. You can still access a lot of really cool things with it. In my opinion, the Vita would be considered a retro console, but it's not so, old that, it's lost all of its functionality. It's not like a PSP where you can't do anything with the online network, and you can't, the PS Vita is completely, off the grid. I still think there's some accessibility with the Vita, and there's still a pretty decent library. And I just wanted to highlight some games this morning that maybe you haven't considered if you were considering getting a PS Vita. The first one obviously is a staple in the Vita's library, and that's Gravity Rush. I've talked about Gravity Rush a ton. I have Gravity Rush on the PlayStation 4, as well as Gravity Rush 2 on the PlayStation 4. This is a very cool adventure game. It's like an action RPG kind of adventure game. Definitely one that I would consider. I'm not a huge RPG guy, and I think that's probably what the Vita is best known for. I think PlayStation just does really well with RPGs, but I have a lot of action games on the Vita, so that's what I'll primarily be showing you. Got one or two RPGs, but Gravity Rush is definitely one. Muramasa, this is another really good one. So Muramasa, in a lot of ways, is kind of like Odin Sphere. So if you've played Odin Sphere, that Muramasa kind of has that same feel. It's just way more, in my opinion, I think it's more fast-paced. It's a hack and slash side scroller. You can do really cool combos, air combos. You can level up the main character, learn more moves, add more combos. And I think there was another version of Muramasa that came out on the Wii. I have that version as well. I think that's Demon Blade. I'm a huge fan of these action side-scrolling hack and slashers, but this is a very cool one to have on the Vita if you're into that style of gameplay. So Muramasa's one. Here's an RPG. I've never actually opened this one to play it, but you have Tales of Hearts R. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I just never got around to opening this and playing it, but this is a pretty decent RPG on the Vita, one worth checking out. Then you have Soul Sacrifice. I had multiple copies of Soul Sacrifice. This is the copy that I think I kept sealed, but this is pretty much a open world hack and slasher. This kind of plays like a Monster Hunter. You know, it's a third person hack and slasher. No, actually, I think I played this on, did I play this on the PS4? I know I've played this either on the Vita or on the PS4. But there's another version that has more content on it, and that's Soul Sacrifice Delta. I've never been able to find that one. But I do have just the standard version still sealed on my Vita. So these are the Vita games that I actually kept in my collection. I still have roughly around 50 to 75 Vita games. Bastion, this is a really cool one. I actually downloaded Bastion on the Switch and played it there, but I wanted to have a physical copy, and I don't think they came out with a physical copy of this game on the Switch, at least not yet. I think they may be coming out with one, I'm not sure. I'm sure they are, because all of these games they always wind up on the Switch. But this game, if you've ever played Hades, which was a very popular isometric hack and slasher, very popular around 2020, Bastion kind of plays the same way. It's almost like this narrated like action RPG game, but like the narration occurs like as you play through the game. Very interesting, gameplay here, but this is a really cool one as well. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. Bastion. I like this game. Bunny Must Die is a very cool 2D side-scrolling type of game. It follows the whole Bunny series. As you can see, there's another game called Robbie Ribby. These are just some like 2D pixelated platforming games that are pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the platformers. This is another one that I don't know if it actually made its way to the Switch. It probably will. This was a limited run release, so I'm not sure. Perhaps it will in the future. Like I said, all these games always make their way to the Switch, but these are the games that make the Vita worth it for me, because I don't really see these games anywhere else outside of the PS4 or the Vita. And then last but not least, we have this Ys game. So Ys Memories of Celceta, I think. Celceta, am I saying that right? Someone let me know down in the comments. But I'm a huge fan of the Ys series, and I don't think that this version of Ys is on any other platform. I really like the Ys games. I had Ys Origins. I have Ys 8 and Ys 9. And this is just a very cool installment in the series. Another one that I think is just exclusive to the Vita. So the Vita has some really exclusive games, some really exclusive titles on the platform, games that I think folks would be interested in. It's definitely worth taking a look at if you're interested in expanding your library. Now, if you're just starting out and you're just building your collection, I definitely wouldn't start off with the Vita. Probably, if you have 0 video games, you have not a single video game to your name. In all honesty, the best place to start would be the Switch, because to me, it's the largest and most diverse platform out there right now. And you can still get a Switch for a decent price. I do plan on kind of doing a video just on some Switch games to look out for a little bit later on today. But I figured I'd just kind of give you all an update on the Vita for those of you who might have forgotten, because the Vita is it's one of those consoles that's, I think it's just being forgotten right now. And the drop in price is reflecting that. But usually when people are forgetting about a console or games or a system, that's the best time to dive in, because the competition is very low and you can get some really great deals. But that does it for me on this early morning video. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a solid week. I will see you later on this afternoon. Take it easy.